As we are looking for an evolution of a human being through the education system, the education system should be always an evolving process by itself. When we think in terms of a perfect school, we're thinking of again fixing it somewhere. That's what needs to change. As one can develop muscle by doing certain things with the body, one can develop intelligence. The fundamental aspect of developing intelligence is, right now, there are some studies, I don't know, you must tell me, I'm not an expert on these things, which say if a child goes through 20 years of formal education and comes out with a PhD, they say 70% of intelligence is irrevocably destroyed. Because
Sorry,
we are…
I have a PhD, I don't know if you should
I'll leave that to you, Ken. So, essentially what's being said by the studies is we are mistaking information for education. By deadening the brain with too much information, definitely the possibility of intelligence is lost. This is why I said what we accumulate and who we are should remain separate. Who I am should not be influenced by what I have accumulated, whether they're material things or information or impressions. This is of the world. I would like to little differ in what was said in terms of child's inner world and external world. What we are mistaking to be inner world is still external in my perception, because a child's fears, ambitions, aspirations are all external, inspired or infected, I would say, by the outside situation. It is not natural aspiration of life. Natural aspiration of life, if you look at it, if you leave someone uninfluenced from outside, the natural aspiration is always to expand, not to become less. But if you look at today's form of education, because it's purely intellect-based education, there is no other dimension of intelligence in it. And I think in this part of the world there is a serious mistake that intellect has been mistaken for intelligence. Your intellect can function only with the backing of your memory. Or in other words, your intellect functions with accumulated information. If I take away all your memory, your intellect is quite useless by itself. But there are other dimensions of intelligence within you, which does not need the support of memory. If education systems do not focus on activating these dimensions of intelligence, you will find factory workers, you will not find a genius in every home. What you need is an innovative intelligence. Today when I use the word innovation, you think developing a new i8 phone. I'm not talking about that. Maybe we can develop a world without a phone. We don't know what's an innovation. Innovation need not necessarily mean improvement of what we have little by little, little by little. Yes, that is also needed, but that is not what life is looking for. People are not any better with phone, without phone. Maybe we're doing more things, but equally confused, equally struggling as it was before. So the point is not about what we have gathered. What we have gathered is useful in creating comfort and convenience for the world. What we have gathered is not useful for creating well-being for ourselves and for the world. If well-being has to happen, we have to access dimensions of intelligence which are not intellectual, because intellect cannot function without accumulated information. If you function always out of accumulated information, you naturally get identified with it. So depending upon what you have accumulated, you become that kind. Because you have become that kind, another kind and your kind always goes into conflict. If the purpose of education is to expand horizons of individual human beings, You can see that's definitely not happening. The more educated somebody becomes, as people get educated, they really can't get along with anybody. They… not so educated people can live together, 100 people can live together. Once you become educated, you become isolated. Because this is the nature of the intellect. Because you're employing only one wheel out of 4 wheels of your car, it is like that. It's like suppose you're driving on the street and you are some kind of an expert, you drive on just 2 wheels. Maybe you're good at it, but nobody else on the street want to drive with you, they will all stop. If you're driving on 4 wheels, everybody will drive with you. So the other dimensions of intelligence have to come, otherwise the moment you get intellectual unknowingly, in some way you exclude the world. So in a way, the way of our education has been to butcher the existence into tiny fragments, and we're trying to fix the fragments. It's not going to work like that. If education has to become holistic, there are systemic problems, I'm not saying no, but more than the systems, the people who deliver the system, if we can upgrade them in a huge way, every system can be made to work good. If we are interested in the future generations of our humanity, the best people in the world must go into teaching. But right now, everything is determined by economics. How much are you paid? That's how you go. So this is where what I'm saying earlier is important. What you accumulate should not determine who you are. As long as that is so, the economic values will rule. As long economic values rule, it's the muscle which rules, not the intelligence. Whether this intelligence works for you or works against you will determine the nature of your life. I can teach one simple process. Just do this. Life will change dramatically. An intelligence that you have never thought possible will become your… Modern science today is recognizing there is something called as Akashic intelligence. That is, space, empty space has certain intelligence. Whether this intelligence works for you or works against you will determine the nature of your life, whether you are a blessed being or one who is going to be freaked and buggered around for the rest of your life. It simply depends on that. How this Akashic intelligence behaves with you. For no reason, people are being hammered around by life, isn't it? For no reason, some people seem to be blessed with everything. It is not for no reason. It is your ability, either consciously or unconsciously, your ability to be able to get the cooperation of this larger intelligence which is functioning. When I say Akashic or the space, the fifth element, it is improper to call it the fifth element, it is because it's the element. All the other four just play upon. The fundamental element is Akash or the space. It is upon that element the other four play. Now we are sitting here on a round planet, you know it. Earth spinning, solar system, everything. I want you to know, it is all held in place only by the Akash. You are sitting in your place, not because yourself, not because you got bumps to sit on. You are sitting in your place only because the Akash is holding you in place. Think it's your buttock? It's not your butt. It is the Akash which is holding you in place.
It is the Akash which is holding this earth in place, it's the Akash which is holding the solar system in place, it's the Akash which is holding this galaxy in place, it is the Akash which is holding the whole cosmos in place. And no strings attached, just see. Just like that. Just held like this, isn't it? Now this Akash, if you know how to bring it to your cooperation, if you know how to get the cooperation of the Akash into your life, this will be a blessed life. I can teach one simple process, which anyway half of you will not do always. Do this much. After the sunrise, before the sun crosses 30 degrees angle, 30 degrees means something like this. Before the sun crosses 30 degrees angle, once look up at the sky and bow down for holding you in place today. After it crosses 30 degrees, sometime during the day, any time, look up and bow down again. After it sets, once again look up, bow down. Not to some god up there, just to the empty space for holding you in place for today. Just do this. Life will change dramatically. Have you noticed even Tendulkar looks up? And have you noticed, it's not just him. Right from ancient times, when man achieved something in wars, in great moments of success, because unknowingly there is a realization. Okay, some of them may be looking up for the Uparwala, but most of them, they manage to climb the peak, Mount Everest. This will naturally come. Have you seen this? Whether it's Bhavaspandana or Samyama, something, you hit one peak experience. Have you noticed this? Your body, in gratitude, physically, without even your awareness, becomes like this. Because somewhere there is a recognition, there is an intelligence here which recognizes that. You consciously do this 3 times. You get cooperation from this, life will happen in magical ways. An intelligence that you have never thought possible will become yours. Because an intelligence which is beyond your understanding and grasp is right now functioning right here, isn't it? Is it not functioning? It is that intelligence which is holding the whole cosmos together. It is that intelligence which is the womb for creation. It is in the womb of that intelligence all creation is happening. And it is not denied to you. Access is not blocked, it is just that you have never looked that way. It is just that you're so engrossed in the little nature of who you are. Your body, your thought, your emotion, your hormones have engaged you so much that looking up never occurs. Paying attention to something beyond never occurs because these little things have taken you over. It is this that we refer to as Maya. This is Maya. It's not that the existence does not exist, that is not Maya. It is just that this is Maya. When something so phenomenal and fantastic and humongous is happening, these little things keep you busy, engaged, and they make you feel as if this is more real than everything else. All this so many fantastic things happening in the cosmos today, in absolutely miraculous and fantastic ways. But one little worm of a thought is worming through your head and that keeps you engaged. Yes or no? That's my
This is the fundamental thing that every human being has to do. Little distance will completely change the way you look at things. Suddenly, the activity of the mind is a great entertainment. Suddenly you find you can use your body and use your mind whichever way you want. It is never going to rule you again.
How can I use hardship as an opportunity to use growth?
How to use hardship as a opportunity. When we say hardship, life can be only physically hard. Mentally hard happens because of you. But physically hard can happen because of terrain, because of situations, because of variety of things. So physical hardship may involve some pain. So physical hardship, people who go through physical hardship always come out stronger. Is that so? Always. Your very training is a fact. Probably a training to be a soldier is harder than fighting a battle. Except for the risk involved, in terms of hardship, training looks like purposeless hardship, always. This is true for a soldier, this is true for a yogi. Early in the morning, 4 o'clock, get up and do yoga. Mind will ask, you idiot, why are you up? Everybody is sleeping. Yes, even for the yogi this problem is there. Mind will ask, you idiot, what are you getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and what are you doing? Everybody is sleeping, they wake up and drink coffee at 7 o'clock. What are you doing? But because you put your body voluntarily through that hardship, it gets you to a place where nobody else can get. Isn't it? So hardship is a… physical hardship is a tremendous possibility because you can… the nature of human body is such that only with use it gets better. If you do it willingly, hardship will be joyful. If you do it unwillingly, it's a most terrible thing. So the question is only of willingness and unwillingness. As I said in the very beginning, that was not to make a joke out of your terrain realities in which you live. What you think is hard duty? If you want to give a punishment, probably in the forces, put him at 20,000 altitude. But people who go mountaineering and other things, climbing to 20,000, they think it's fantastic, isn't it? So what is the difference? The difference is only mindset. Somebody is doing it willingly, somebody thinks they're being forced to do it. That's all the difference is. So this is all life is. Wherever we are, anything we're doing, any given moment of our life, if we do it willingly, it's like heaven. If we do it unwillingly, it's our hell, isn't it? Anything. Just anything. Do you like gulab jamun? No, I'm asking this officer. You like gulab jamun? So right now I'm going to get lot of gulab jamuns and I'm going to put it in your mouth, more and more and more gulab jamuns. That can become the worst experience of your life, isn't it? When you want to eat gulab jamun, you take it in your hands willingly and you ate it, it was so nice. When you don't want it, if somebody forces it down your throat, it's terrible. So the difference is only in willingness and unwillingness. This is the fundamental thing that every human being has to do. So right now, whatever we do, maybe if I had a choice, I would do something else, but right now I'm doing this, let's say whatever I'm doing. If you do it willingly, even that thing that you don't like becomes a wonderful process. If you do it unwillingly, then you will see it becomes a terrible process. But I don't like this, why should I do it willingly? Okay, if your choice is to suffer, please do it. If you don't like it, you don't do it tomorrow. But today when you're doing it, you do it willingly. If you do it willingly, even that thing that you think you do not like, even that becomes a great pleasure and becomes a process of growth for you. So definitely physical hardship can be used in a big way to bring balance and well-being to yourself. Psychological hardships are entirely your making. Nobody else is doing that to you. Only you can do that to you, isn't it? To stop that, as I said, this Isha Kriya is something all of you should do because this will give you distance, little distance. Little distance will completely change the way you look at things. It's like this, you see the traffic jam. Traffic is jammed, you're stuck in it. Everybody is cursing each other and getting angry, and in Delhi also they kill each other. Traffic jams, people kill each other, you know. Suppose you're flying in an airplane or a helicopter and look down, traffic jam looks really nice, you know. Have you ever noticed this? It looks quite nice, simply because there's a little distance. The same thing with your body and your mind. If you create a little distance, when I say distance, you must understand this. Your body you gathered, your mind you gathered, it is possible to create a distance. If you create a little distance, suddenly the activity of the mind is a great entertainment. No positive, no negative, nothing, it's a great entertainment, it's only negative, positive and you're stuck in it. Once you're little out of it, suddenly you find you can use your body and use your mind whichever way you want. It is never going to rule you again. So, physical hardship definitely can be harnessed, it can be a great opportunity for a human being to build themselves into a deep level of strength and well-being. Mental hardship is your making, you must stop that.
Well, dealing with the spine, being a chiropractor, I'm just wondering if the physical body can put limitations on what you commented on.
I really don't know what a chiropractic does, I'm not aware of it. I just see the board's chiropractic clinic, I just inquire what this is and whatever people have told me, that's all. I really don't know what they do. But whatever they may be doing, their knowledge of the spine is from the outside. By studying, that's how they know the spine. So when that is all the knowledge is, the best thing to do is only to help somebody who's all messed up in his spine to just relax. Trying to do anything more than that to the spine would not be good. All that is happening for most people is by improper attitudes, improper energy, improper postures, spine tends to contract. You know, it should be like this, but it tends to sit back and sometimes grate upon each other and create tension and pain, nervous pain, sometimes very excruciating pain. So, if you can help a person to relax and stretch out his spine, it's fine. But too much meddling with the spine is not good. In yoga, we have what is called as Anga Mardana. Anga Mardana literally means, Anga means the limbs or the body parts. Mardana means to kill the body parts. So if you do Anga Mardana, then everything in you will disappear from your experience except your spine. Only the back of your head and your spine will be still in your experience, rest of it will be like not in your experience. Like some of you are seeing when you sit for shunya, your hands and legs seem to be missing. So the whole body will be missing except the spine. So when you get a person into such conditions, then there are many things you can do with the spine.
But that is not to be attempted in a chiropractic clinic, it needs a completely different atmosphere. It's not medical, it's not a physical or medical thing, it's a different dimension. I think a chiropractic could help a person to relax his spine. I don't know what else is being done. You should tell me.
Well, there are several philosophies on chiropractic, and it would take some time, I guess, to tell you.
But forceful pushing of the spine could make a person very dependent on the chiropractic.
So, one day, this donkey fell into an open well, which was dry. It went and fell inside, 30 feet down, and started crying piteously, wanting to come out and no way to come. The farmer went and looked down. This fool of an ass falling into the well, now pulling him out, so spending money to get this ass out, the old fool of an ass out, which is not of much use anyway. Thought, what is the point getting this ass out anyway? In a year or two it will die and it's of no use, it's not doing any work. Its retirement period has come, nobody is interested in a retired ass. Working ass, all right. Retired ass, nobody's interested. So he called his friends, his neighbors and said, let's fill up the well because anyway the well is dry, the ass is old, let's cover it up. So all of them brought their shovels and shovel after shovel they started throwing the earth into the well. The terrified ass really started crying piteously, wanting to come out. But they started filling it up. After some time, suddenly the ass stopped its screaming and started doing something very strange and smart. Every time a shovel full of earth fell on its back, it shook it off and took one step up. So they saw, this is a real smart ass. Every time a shovel of earth goes in, one step up, he's coming. And then he climbed out. By now, the whole assembly of people were full of admiration. What a smart ass! This is a really intelligent ass, he could do many things. Then the farmer also, the old farmer also thought, wow, he suddenly felt pride. Said, see my donkey, such a smart donkey. And he tried to go and caress the donkey. The donkey promptly turned around and kicked him in the face. The moral of the story is, never try to cover your ass. It'll kick you in the face, it'll come back and kick you in the face one day. So those of you busy doing that, covering up all the nonsense that you are, it'll come back and kick you in the face. Today is the day to get rid of the nonsense, not tomorrow. Today is the day. If you make that your way of life, you will see how many layers of nonsense exist. And if you every day say, today is the day and one layer goes, in a very brief time, when I come back after a few months, I must see shining, beautiful faces, not… What? Yeah. What? Yes! Better. Yes. You better be, okay? Ecology is not an academic subject, ecology is the basis of our existence. We as a generation of people have this responsibility that in the next 10, 15 years' time,
At least at the policy level, all the right things happen. But fundamentally, the most important thing is human beings have lost connection with what is life and everything that nourishes life and sustains life around us. This is the disaster we are manifesting.
I wondered if you could talk to the kind of leadership you think is required to generate this kind of concern around conservation and the environment.
The reason why I see that ecological concerns have not become everybody's concern is simply because activists have been taking an attitude of being against everything that is for economic well-being. We've always pitched economy versus ecology. That's a fundamental thing that I wanted to change in India. I actually said this I am officiating the marriage between economy and ecology, because these two things can't go against each other, there is no way to do it. You have to go together. I think that is the basic message that needs to go, that we need not destroy businesses, we just have to transform businesses. And the necessary time, room and policy support is needed to transform businesses. Ecological sustainability is mostly understood as pollution coming from cities or industries or whatever. But what is missed is, the biggest disaster on the planet is actually agriculture. It's the degradation of soil which is the real issue. Everything else can be attended to and reversed in a matter of few decades. The degradation of soil across the planet is not something that you can turn back, it will take 50 to 100 years. There are only two ways to regenerate the soil. One thing is the leaves from the trees and the animal waste and the human waste. Well, the trees are gone long time ago. The next thing is the animal waste. Without animals, you cannot enrich the soil, you cannot enrich the soil with bags of fertilizer.
I wondered whether, in the relationships, in the ecosystems around us, you see a certain spiritual process in conserving the environment.
Essentially, spiritual means your experience of life has gone beyond your physical self. So if you experience yourself beyond this body, what will be your experience? Naturally, it'll be an inclusion of life around you. So what I exhale, the trees are inhaling, what the trees exhale, I'm inhaling every moment of our life. But somehow we are going around without any consciousness about this. So spiritual process is not aimed towards ecology, but ecology is just a part of our existence. Ecology is not an academic subject. Ecology is the basis of our existence. To bring this experience to people large scale is very, very important, because you can teach as much as you want, you can campaign as much as you want, but people shape their lives according to their experience of life. Especially those people who hold positions of responsibility and power, who can make a difference in the world, their experience of life has to become much more inclusive than the way it is right now. I must tell you a little example. A few years ago, almost after 27 years, I did not go back to my hometown. I go back to meet my family, but never did any programs there because I wanted to be little anonymous in my town. Well, which didn't work out about 10, 12 years ago. They insisted I must do a program, I did a program, so everybody turned up, all my schoolmates, my school teachers, my college teachers, all kinds of people that I knew for a long time. So my English teacher at the end of the program came and hugged me and she said, now I know why you didn't let me teach Robert Frost. I said, ma'am, why would I not let you teach Robert Frost? I like Frost. I even went to his place and I have, in his own voice, recital of poetries. I said, why would I not let you teach? She said, don't you remember? And she reminded me. What happened was, we were always studying English poets and she's introducing American poetry to us. And she came and she started reading, she introduced Robert Frost, saying he's a great poet. And the first poem she started off, woods are lovely, dark and deep. I said, stop it. I don't want to listen to this man who calls tree a wood. She said, no, no, Robert Frost is… I said, I don't care how great he is. A man who calls tree a wood, I'm not going to listen to that guy. So this is just like a tiger looks at you and thinks breakfast.
Breakfast, yeah.
So this has to change in our mind. A tree is not a table, a tree is not a chair, a tree is not furniture, a tree is a phenomenal life and it's a basis of our life. This has to become a living experience for everybody, only then there will be sustainability.
Individuals need to alter their attitudes towards consumption, or are there larger solutions needed?
The individual people are powerful today. One thing is there is social media, they can do a lot of work. Sitting at home, they need not go anywhere, they can impact the world in many ways. Apart from that, most nations on the planet are democracies. If the citizens do not manifest this and make it very clear, a democratically elected government will not do anything, they will do populistic things. We are willing to sacrifice a few conveniences for a larger and a long-term good. If we do not express that, no government will make any policy. Governments move at their own pace. You do not expect a huge, massive cargo carrier to just make a U-turn like that. I'm very clear on this. I'm just looking for a 1-degree turn. If you make a 1-degree turn and hold it, there will be a U-turn.
And you mentioned this morning that you also managed to bring together bits of the Indian government who'd never met before.
The different ministries, there is water management ministry, there is irrigation ministry, there is rural development ministry, there's agricultural ministry, but they never meet. So we got them to meet for the first time and look at what they could do together. That's what made a huge difference. And now the Planning Commission or the Niti Aayog as it is called today, sent out a notification to all the 28 states that this Rally for Rivers policy is the official policy you must implement. Many states have already taken it up. In some we are directly participating, rest we are consulting. I'm trying to talk to a lot of activists and tell them the problems that they're protesting against. First, can you find a solution? Look through. If you can find a solution, suggest the solution rather than just protesting against a problem. For example, all these soft drink manufacturers, where single-use plastic is going around, they shifted from bottles to plastic because it was far more convenient for them. The reason why you cannot recycle this bottle easily is because there is a paper label. So we started doing a little bit of research. What is the solution? How can we print on this? So there is a company in Chicago who's manufacturing a certain kind of dye which will come out just like paper label on the plastic. If you do that one thing, all these plastic bottles can go in for recycling. A business which is using this and they know it is a major polluting factor, they can suggest, see, this is the change, if you give us some incentives, we will shift. So the business has to collaborate with the government to suggest, see, these are the changes we would like to make, but we want this kind of policy benefits. Our idea of what is profit, what is a successful business, has to go through some transformation. It's not one day's job, it needs to happen over a period of time. Definitely it's happening. Today, a whole lot of businesses are looking at how they can impact ecological sustainability. This was simply absent 25 years ago. They're investing in this direction. Once people put their money in a direction, you can trust that they have intentions. See, the next 25 years probably in the history of humanity is going to be very crucial in terms of what kind of corrections we make. If we take care of the soil, rivers, forests, agriculture, human health, everything will be taken care of. If we turn this around in the next 10 to 15 years, if we do all the right things in the next 10 to 15 years, I believe in 30 to 40 years, major change will happen in a positive way. But let's say we leave it for another 25 to 30 years and then try to turn it around, in my estimate, it will take 100 to 150 years to turn it around, because we are crossing a certain line. After you cross that line, turning it back is going to be so much more difficult. So, we as a generation of people have this responsibility that in the next 10, 15 years' time, at least at the policy level, all the right things happen. Why I'm insisting on the policy is, only when there is a policy change, the budgetary allocations are there and a sustained movement towards that is there. Particularly major populations in the world like United States, Europe, China, India, if we make the right policies right now in the next few years, within the next 3 to 5 years, I would say, then I think the rest of the world will follow. One major advantage for Asia is we are very sun-rich. So, harnessing solar energy is going to be a major thing. Technologies still need to go further, but there are many solutions coming forth. I think this entire system that we went into starting from early 20th century, this power distribution grids, this must go. Power must be generated where it is used. Right now, you will see in any city probably… because yesterday I drove into Kuala Lumpur around 9 p.m. and every road was jammed. What's happening in every city is, those who live there work here, those who live here work there. I don't understand why. So these are simple changes we can make. So I designed what's called as one building cities. We insist on calling them cities. I'm talking about 50 acres of land, you build only 1 acre, 50 floors, and rest 49 acres you just leave it, make it forested, make it water bodies. No waste going out of this land, easily it can be done, people will live much better. Everything can be right there, they can live there, they can work there, children can go to school there, they can shop there. Once a week if you want to go out somewhere, you can go, but daily there's no need to pull out your automobile. Before we launched the Rally for Rivers, our project Green Hands had planted a little over 33 million trees, which has changed the green cover in one state. But now with Rally for Rivers, we have signed MOUs with 6 different states in the next 8 years for nearly 7 billion trees. And this is government funded and most of it is going to be done by the governments. Many states have already announced one kilometer along the riverside they're planting, but now 62 to 64% of the land is owned by the farmers. You're not going to talk to them about ecological sustainability because they're just struggling for a livelihood. So we have created what is called as agro-forestry, with which we have shown that easily you can multiply your income 3 to 5 times in a matter of 5 years if you shift. Fundamentally, the most important thing is human beings have lost connection with what is life and everything that nourishes life and sustains life around us. This is the disaster we are manifesting in the form of ecological thing. But the fundamental thing is, we have become psychological beings, not living beings. We have to transform them into living beings.
If you stayed until now, if you paused your day to listen, that already sets you apart from most. Like the video, comment where you're watching from, and check the links in the description. You'll definitely find more content that continues this conversation with you. Thanks, big hug, and see you in the next video.